like to introduce myself first. I am a faculty at IIT. Hello. Yeah. I am a faculty at IIT Roper, and in the capacity of this discussion, also one of the directors of our Defense Research and Innovation Foundation. And I'll go a bit into that quickly to explain what we are doing at the institution already and maybe take some learnings from that. Our director is also actually sitting there, Professor Rajiv Ahuja. So the foray of our institution into defense, not only skilling, but directly working with the armed forces, started around 4.5 years ago. And some of the points earlier mentioned, which we felt as strengths, we have tried to build upon. One is, of course, the geography. We are, as an academic institution, located very closely to the command headquarters of the Army, various Air Force establishments, and DPSUs, ordnance factories. So that was one. Secondly, we felt that despite academia being involved in one or the other capacity, direct engagement with the armed forces was not actually happening. So the user need, the user being principally the armed forces, the soldiers that are on the front lines, their user needs were not clearly understood by the academics. Now, over the past few years, the defense establishment has opened quite a bit to interacting with academia. So once we realized that this is an opportunity, we embarked upon a journey to work directly with the armed forces, and in doing so also engage with industry partners, understanding fully well that the requirements of the army cannot be on paper, they have to be implemented on the ground and in forward areas. So that is how we started with that premise. We set up a center of excellence through an MOU with the headquarters Army Training Command. And since then, actually over the last 3-4 years, we have created an ecosystem working directly with the command headquarters, with the Navy, Air Force, with several DPSUs, and of course the private sector industry in 3 verticals, one of which is skilling, and I'll come to that. The second vertical being R&D and implementation of projects on the ground, and creating an ecosystem of startups that essentially contribute to this development on the ground. As far as skilling goes, in the past session and some of the earlier speakers, I would like to highlight one of the points that we are already doing is skilling of the armed forces personnel. Of course, I think the emphasis here is on the industry, but skilling of the armed forces personnel has a very critical role to play in that. One colonel officer there earlier, he mentioned that the armed forces are reliant on OEMs, and in fact we are from the very inception of our exercise with the forces involved in training through DGR. So we get JCOs in a good number in a variety of areas. We started off with cyber security. We have extended that to now.
Please try and sum up.
Yes, material science and AI and also mission reliability. So this engagement with the DGR personnel who are now going to retire and enter the workforce can serve as a valuable resource for, in terms of skilling. Again, Agniveers was mentioned. We are taking steps in that direction. So that is one thing we are doing very well, and with the help of the industry and the state government, we can retain that talent here. They have very good hands-on experience. Secondly, I'll try to wrap up maybe in 2 minutes, sir. When we are talking of skilling, not for the shop floor, but maybe for engineers, I think we have to look at a future-ready skilling workforce. The nature of defense technology has changed, and legacy platforms, I think the whole business model or the nature of warfare being very dynamic, even the approach to skilling has to be very dynamic and agile. And therefore, in that, to that end, we have partnered with some industries. We get regular industry input. Cyber is a key area there. We get industry inputs, and then part of the skilling is done as far as the fundamentals go, the principles go at IIT Ropar. The part which is applied and hands-on is where the industry comes in. So we have to develop an agile ecosystem given the dynamic environment, and whether we are training armed forces officers that are retiring or that are also serving, we have MTech programs with serving officers. For example, we have started one in tank technology with ACC&S, long gunnery course with the RT school, and several others are coming. So whether it be training of armed forces officers, whether it be training of manpower for technology development, we have to work closely with industry. We are doing those things, but we want to scale it up through these platforms that are currently being discussed, and we are happy to give our suggestions for the same. Thank you.
Okay. You got something also on with General Surinder Mahal, some MOU you signed. What is that?
Yes, so actually we have, as part of this ecosystem, we have on board professors of practice, because one of the challenges that academia has is, especially faculty members or the students, is they have not been exposed to that ecosystem. And so as professors of practice,